Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webcast, which is Creating Business-Driven Impactful Dashboards. I am Priyanka Bojja Jain, the Head of Operations in Singapore, and I'm joined by my colleague Shilp from our India office for today's presentation. Shilp and I are business intelligence and analytics consultants here at Thorogood, and we have drawn on our experience and expertise to bring you today's presentation. You can also feel free to get in touch with us via our contact details on the screen if you wish to have a longer discussion about today's topic. Before we get into today's agenda, I'd like to outline a couple of objectives for today's short session. Overall, we'd like to introduce you to our methodology for creating business-driven impactful dashboards, and we'll do this by going through the methodology step by step, highlighting some customer examples along the way. This will be the majority of our presentation, after which we'll conclude with some considerations for getting started. Now, before we jump in, I'll give a brief introduction to Thorogood, and then we'll share our approach for iterative dashboard development. For those of you who don't know Thorogood, we are an independent global professional services firm specializing in business intelligence and analytics strategies, solutions, and services with a keen focus on customers. We are a global company with offices in New York, Philadelphia, London, Bangalore, Singapore, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. All of our consultants are recruited and trained in the same way to develop a unique mix of skills, blending business understanding in the form of industry and functional experience with strong technical aptitude and a deep understanding of analytical tools and techniques. We offer a full range of BI and analytics services, including strategy, roadmap, requirements, design, implementation, training, and support. Our clients typically span 4 data-rich verticals, which is consumer goods, pharmaceutical and health services, banking, and insurance. Our clients are some of the leading organizations in these sectors, and we take a lot of pride in our long-standing relationship that we have fostered with some of these names you see here. These organizations are large, complex businesses, and we rely on our thorough business understanding and deep technical expertise to deliver successful solutions to their business challenges. In terms of the technologies we work with, we are an independent consulting firm, meaning we don't work with one specific technology. We do, however, work and partner with many of the key players in the market in order to provide our clients with the solution that best suits their needs. Now that we have reviewed our brief introduction to Thorogood, let's get into the core topic for today, our approach to creating business-driven impactful dashboards. I will let Shilp take over from here.
Thanks, Priyanka. Hi, everyone. I'm Shilp. Hope you're all having a good day and that it gets even better with this webcast. To position our approach to creating business-driven impactful dashboards, we thought it would make sense to first ask the question, why bother? As in, why bother with a methodology for creating impactful dashboards? This is a good question and something we are often asked by our customers, especially at it isn't particularly difficult to find cheap dashboard developers. To outline why it's worth considering your approach to creating dashboards, I'm going to talk through several outcomes one could and should hope to achieve when evaluating your approach to creating analytical dashboards. First, we have adoption. Of course, central to any BI investment is the goal for people to use the tools and dashboards that are created. Not surprisingly, this is something that many organizations struggle with. Second, and some may say a byproduct of adoption, is more informed users. I have listed this here as a second goal because while adoption will drive success here, this also relies on your dashboards actually providing value. Dashboards that don't meet a business goal won't leave anyone more informed. Next, we have more efficient business processes. People can expect this change as a result of investing in informative and well-received dashboards. Such dashboards will allow everyone using them to be better at their job and for the business as a whole to be more efficient. We are realizing your technology investment. This is often a concern of IT or those owning the licensing and infrastructure costs of a technology investment. And the quickest way to justify such investments in technology is with valuable and impactful outputs that people are eager to use. Following realizing technology investment, we have faster, cheaper cost to implement. Here we are referring to the initial and ongoing investment to create and maintain dashboards. Any approach you choose should be flexible and fast, adapting with the business. Spending weeks and high costs to add a field to a table, for example, won't work for anyone using the platform. And finally, we have better decision making, which is really at the core of each of these results. Ultimately, this is why anyone invests in business intelligence solutions, to drive better decision making across the business. Underpinning our approach to creating impactful dashboards is our approach to all business intelligence and analytics engagements. Specifically, we place critical focus on understanding the business goals and aligning that understanding to the technical possibilities. With this alignment, we are able to work collaboratively with our customers to realize the true value of your business intelligence and analytical investments. In terms of our topic today, understanding the business goals in order to create impactful dashboards is of course vital. Too many times we see companies investing in BI solutions for the sake of picking up a hot new technology, but without any real business goal in mind. Aligning your business goals to the technical possibilities will ensure you aren't missing the point with your BI analytics projects. Stemming from our core principles after years of working on BI projects and refining those approaches, we have developed our unique methodology of creating business-driven, impactful dashboards. We'll spend some time today discussing each of the steps in more detail over the next few slides. But at a high level, we start by identifying a use case and organizing what we call an inspiration session. After this workshop, a first draft is created and shared with key stakeholders. Rapid iterations of feedback and dashboard changes allow for the incorporation of feedback from the business users to produce actionable insights while following key dashboard principles and engaging with the users. Before the fun of developing a dashboard can begin, it is crucial to identify and prioritize one or two candidate use cases and assemble the key stakeholders who should be involved throughout the process. The approach relies on early input from the key business users to influence the design and development of the final report. So it's important to identify the proper audience for the initial inspiration session and further feedback sessions. For example, a dashboard for Asia Pacific supply chain users should take input from the heads of various manufacturing sites and warehouses within the network to influence the analytics and dashboards required for them to run their business more efficiently. In addition, this phase may involve a tool selection exercise to decide on the appropriate visualization tool best suited to fit the user needs within the organization. Here, you may be debating between Tableau, Qlik, Power BI, or something else altogether. Each tool selection decision is unique and should be made while considering the people, tools, data, and processes that already exist within an organization. If you're interested in a conversation about when to use certain tools, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to discuss this topic in more detail. Next, the inspiration session. It is an initial workshop where we bring together the key business and IT stakeholders to discuss the vision and purpose for the dashboards. The session usually starts with the business user explaining a key problem and how reporting and visualizations can help answer the key questions. A discussion on the business goals for the dashboard helps shape a collective understanding of what success looks like. Then the fun begins and everyone is invited to share their ideas and brainstorm the design of the reports and visualizations. This may involve reviewing existing reports that are used, mocking up charts in Excel, or even sharing interesting visualizations from online articles or web pages. There are many community forums like Tableau Public and Power BI Partner Showcase that can be used to get the creative juices flowing. As expert BI and analytics consultants, we'll pull on the collective experience of our company to bring ideas and anonymous screenshots from previous projects we have done where the visualizations are particularly impactful. By the end of this session, all participants agree on the next steps and have a sense of purpose and key objectives of the dashboard. In addition to the front-end design, it is important to start to consider the data sources and identify key fields that are required for the development of the first draft. While we can't go into detail around a specific inspiration due to the confidentiality around customer use cases, we thought it would be valuable to give you all a sense of what an inspiration session might look like. As I mentioned, the inspiration session is meant to bring a variety of different ideas and views together to create a shared understanding of the business goals for a particular use case, and as well as what's technically possible. We'll typically achieve this by pulling from a variety of different sources, as well as whiteboarding different ideas live within the session. For the above example, we've collected several different samples into a PowerPoint deck to help facilitate this session. Within the sample deck, we'll first start with an introduction to the inspiration session, in which we'll review our methodology, much like we are doing today. Next, we would have collected several report examples from the customer. These examples are meant to give a flavor of the types of questions a team may be looking to answer. These samples will likely not be the tool we are looking to use. Perhaps it is an Excel file one manager has, or a PDF report that is emailed out to a large number of people, or something similar. Ahead of the session, depending on what we have received from the project team, we will draw out key metrics, dimensions, or visuals to help provide value. We also encourage participants to bring their own content to the session, which wouldn't be listed here. Next, we have some relevant anonymized project examples. These are examples we have brought from other projects. With our 30 years of BI and analytics experience, we have been through several different iterative dashboard cycles, and the various results from these cycles help shed light on the art of the possible. Lastly, we have some examples from Tableau Public and Wall Street Journal. As we mentioned, public sites may also provide valuable examples for an inspiration session. When considering the business function or an identified use case, our project teams will investigate current events as well as what is available on the web to help inspire our business users. Some users in the past have said things like, could we make this look like Google? Or I really like the user experience of Amazon. And all of this is fair game in this part of the inspiration session. After collecting and compiling the notes from the inspiration session, we will begin working on the first draft of the dashboards in the chosen front-end tools. The goal is to keep momentum with the business users and create the first draft with a relatively short development cycle using sample data. Of course, the actual development time will be dependent upon the dashboard complexity, data availability, and chosen tools. But the intent is to translate the inspiration session ideas into a working prototype to be used as the basis for ongoing feedback sessions. Leaders in the visualization software space, like Tableau and Power BI, allow for rapid results to shorten the investment time required for the first draft. As I mentioned, the first draft is usually done on a sample set of data to allow for focus on creating powerful visualizations, rather than getting bogged down by database development or data validation. For example, tools like Tableau and Power BI allow for connecting to sample data extracts in Excel more quickly to create something that people can provide feedback on. Then in parallel to the front-end iteration, the required back-end development can be completed to surface the required data elements based on reporting needs. This approach ensures that any back-end development is done for a purpose, that is, done in alignment with the reporting needs, and to reduce the risk of a long drawn-out database project with minimal business impact. While the value of the dashboard is certainly realized in the eye of the beholder, when we create dashboards, starting with the first draft, we use visualization principles across the board to ensure the dashboards we create are grounded in sensible design. These principles also drive the philosophy behind many of the tools we work with, like Tableau and Power BI, so employing these principles with these tools fits well. So are these principles, that the visualizations are clean, simple, and intuitive. The best data visualizations show all the right information and are not cluttered with anything that is not relevant. That the visualizations highlight key messages, trends, issues, and anomalies. When a user sees a visualization, data points that should get attention jump off the screen at the user. For example, using red and green coloring based on threshold values to highlight things where the business is trending positive or negative. Visualizations display metrics in context of relevant comparisons. Metrics are displayed relative to the targets or across data attributes that makes them meaningful to the audience. Appropriate visualizations make best use of position, size, color, and shape. The right tools, the right job. Graphs can be trendy or traditional, but they need to use all the variables to make them compelling. Visualizations are interactive, and interactivity enhances analysis. The experience of the visualization is important to answer what does it say and why does it say so. It should ensure that each data point should be within a few clicks of the mouse. And lastly, performance. Performance is consistently identified as one of the key factors of adoption and should be considered throughout design and development. After the first draft, we'll host a series of feedback sessions to share the latest version of the dashboards. We'll collect the feedback and incorporate the changes to further enhance the dashboard, keeping in mind the key visualization principles mentioned on the previous slide. As the dashboards come together and the functionality is developed, the users may tweak their initial thoughts or have more ideas on ways to analyze the data. This approach allows time for and even encourages this type of feedback throughout the entire process. Usually, the end result looks drastically different and hopefully better than the initial inspiration and first draft. We'll facilitate a number of these rapid iteration meetings over a number of weeks to continually refine the dashboard and ensure it remains aligned to the business goals outlined during the initial inspiration session. Depending on the changes, Tableau and Power BI dashboards can offer live feedback sessions where the comments are incorporated into the dashboards on the fly during the meeting. Throughout the cycle, the users are able to provide their input and influence the end result of the dashboard while building excitement for the final product. In addition, any required data development can be done in parallel, behind the scenes. So when the both streams are ready, we just need to repipe the dashboards to the production data sources and the dashboards are ready to go. Now that we have covered a methodology in detail, I wanted to briefly discuss scaling out this approach. As we've discussed, one of the key benefits of our approach is that you're building buy-in as your dashboards are developed. So investing in your inspiration sessions and rapid iterations will not only produce a powerful dashboard, your users will be excited to start using it. That being said, we can also easily scale this approach to working with many teams at once across several different use cases. When considering scaling out, it's important to consider the following: business priority and impact. It may be beneficial to take stock of where the highest impact areas are within your business and focus there so you can most immediately realize the value of impactful dashboards. If you have several different high priority areas, consider scaling out with focus groups of business users to service each priority. Next, we have key user availability. This process really works when your key participants have the time to invest in sessions. So as you begin to scale out this approach, it is important to consider the number and the length of inspiration sessions or rapid iterations you will have so as to not tie up too much time from these business leaders. Finally, supporting data development. Particularly with tools like Tableau, you will need to consider your underlying data sets and how your data needs to be structured to support your dashboard. So if you have individuals working on your underlying data structures, you will need to consider how you manage their workloads so they can adequately support those creating your dashboard. So we've covered quite a bit here around a unique approach for creating impactful business-driven dashboards. And we hope you can see a variety of benefits to this approach. Let's highlight a few relating this back to some of the key goals we raised when considering the approach to creating impactful dashboards. Sustained involvement from business users promotes user adoption and strong use of your technology investment. As we discussed with our approach, key users will be involved throughout the creation of the dashboards. This involvement will ensure you're building buy-in as well as an understanding of the solution as the dashboards are created. Second, our inspiration sessions help to focus dashboards on key business problems, driving the biggest value. Rather than guessing on the key business problems, our inspiration sessions will bring together the key business and technology people to drive focus on the most critical business questions for the dashboards to tackle. As we mentioned when considering our key goals, taking weeks and thousands of dollars to add a field or a new visualization will not meet the needs of eager business users. Rapid iterations reduces time and costs to implement. And finally, business-driven dashboards ensure outputs will be valuable to those making key business decisions. Going back to a fundamental approach to creating business intelligence and analytics solutions, this approach ensures you aren't missing the point with your project by focusing on a hot new technology without a business goal in mind. Now that we have gone through our approach and some real-life examples, let's talk about some steps for getting started. So now you may be wondering, how do I get started on this journey? Well, we suspect many of you are likely thinking about some business users who could benefit from this approach. This is where we recommend getting started, by discussing the key use cases. There are likely many value-add use cases throughout your business, so I suspect you'll have many to choose from. As you identify your use case, you will want to determine those who should participate in your inspiration session. Remember, these should be your key business stakeholders. You may also need to decide which front-end tool you will use. Lastly, it is worth taking stock of the data you have to support your use cases. If the data needed to support a specific use case is more easily available, then it may make sense to go and get started with that one. Thorogood can help with any aspect of getting started. If you're interested to learn about this methodology or any specific aspect of using it within your organization, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you for joining us today. If you do have any questions that you haven't sent through, please do reach out to us. Thank you and have a great day.